It's exciting. It's concerning, this ADA chart. And in this video, I want to take two of these things, these emotions, really. I want to bundle them together. I'm going to bundle them together, throw them out the window, and kind of just dig into the data, dig into the charts, because that's all that matters here. We're going to talk about where these two things come from for me, which is excitement, but concern at the same time. And it really does play into the bullish scenario for ADA right now and the bearish scenario for ADA right now. There are two possibilities. We just have to accept that. So hopefully, I'm just going to break down the data. Hopefully, it's valuable to you. But just remember, everybody, this is just my crypto journey. This is how I see the charts. I'm tracking ADA, tracking Cardano and crypto through this bear market and into the next bull market. And this is what I'm seeing right now in ADA. First things first, this is this lower high resistance ADA has just been kind of testing since mid-January. You look back here, kind of came into the 618, rejected, made its way back in, kind of rejected again. And right now, look at this, testing the 786 of this Fibonacci. That Fibonacci, by the way, is this swing high in November to the swing low and just right back up to this Fibonacci area. Confluent with the 786 line, where ADA is right now, is the 200-day moving average. And we're looking at like, right, 39 to 40 cents, a crazy resistance area for ADA right now. So this is, in the very short term, right now, what I'm watching. I'm just extremely curious. This is a daily chart, but what's going on right now? Is ADA, what's it going to do? And we're going to get some clues on the 6-hour chart here in a minute. But the first things I want to do before we start talking about the bullish scenario, bullish breakout, I want to bring up just some very realistic, non-fear, uncertainty, and doubt data. I'm not saying this to be bearish or to sound bearish. I just want to just go over something that's just staring me in the face. So we go over here to this daily chart zoomed out. This is the move. Couple things. Just notice right now we're kind of in this rising wedge. So higher highs, higher lows, kind of converging to this apex of this rising wedge. And these aren't the most bullish things. Now, I want to say this. If ADA breaks to the upside, this could turn into a bullish thing. And it's not always that these wedges are bearish, right? We're going to look at some data points in regards to that. But I just want to throw a reminder out there. We had a similar kind of higher high, higher low, nice move on ADA where the 20-day moving average was breaking above the 50-day right there in blue and just all of a sudden crash, right? And it actually hit the target very nicely, target being kind of the starting point of the wedge. We're in a similar area. I'm not saying I want it to happen, but why would we not just for a minute just be ready for a crazy move like that, right? Just ADA falling, breaking down. If crypto markets break down and crash after this nice run up that we've had, it's a possibility. And I like to just entertain the thought of it because we see it happen all the time. And it really kind of rains on the parade of all the permabulls that are just hoping that things keep going. Now, I'll say this. We go over to Bulkowski real quick and just check out some data. We start kind of trying to get an idea, well, how likely is this going to happen or what should we look for? So a couple things. Number one, trends, the volume trend trends downward. 79% until the breakout. So we're going to keep an eye on that. This is what the volume looks like in terms of this pattern. He's saying it trends downwards. Well, if we look at the volume, what's it doing? It's trending downwards. We kind of want to start seeing a really nice break in volume, breaking previous swing highs, these lower highs of volume that we see here on this chart. That's kind of number one. Want to point out too, that the breakout can be any direction, but is downward 60% of the time. And this is based off of his data, 1,400 trades. So if that's the case, 60% of the time, let's face it, that's very close to 50-50. So I'm not sitting here saying this rising wedge is bearish and it's going to play out. It's going to play out perfectly. And Cardano is definitely going to crash. What I am saying is we do have this declining volume. We have a rising wedge in play. It's on the screen right now. And not only that, lastly, interceding with all of this is we have the RSI, slower moving momentum oscillator, swing high, lower high, and right now, this is a key pivotal time, I think, in terms of this trend. We have another lower high potentially in play. If ADA can just break this trend, break this previous swing high, and kind of try and start turning around that bearish divergence, that could be a huge thing because right now this is bearish divergence. Lower highs on the RSI while ADA price sees higher highs. So if ADA can just crack that, this could be extremely bullish. So when I started the video, I'm just like, I'm bullish but you know, I'm a little concerned. This is why. It's because all of this data coming together, and it really all just meets at this one spot, which is this 200-day moving average right around 39 to 40 cents. And then once again, if we go to this daily chart, this is the lower high Fibonacci. So it's also in that resistance range. ADA right now, everybody, there's no other way to say it, is testing crazy, crazy resistance. If it can break and get a nice explosive move above and away from this resistance, it can actually start to, all these bearish indicators that we're looking at, start to kind of diminish those and make them not as useful of bearish indicators. So that's kind of what I'm watching. Here's ADA on the 6 hour. So this kind of plays into the bull move. We talked about this triangle. It was the other day, maybe yesterday, the day before, but you can just see it's an ascending triangle. The one thing I don't like so much about it is I don't really have 3 touches on one of the trend lines at the very least. It's kind of 2 and 2, right? So down here, here, and here, and here, right? So it would have been probably a little bit more perfect of a setup if it came down, tested this trend line a little bit, and just broke out closer to the apex. But these things aren't perfect. It never is. But for me, I just see this consolidation after this breakout back here, this consolidation phase that ADA's been in. I like to look at it as this ascending triangle. This is the way I see the charts. Doesn't matter if you see it or not. Everybody can view these charts and chart these charts however they would like. And this is how I chart it. I mean, even right now as I'm doing this video, I'm seeing this upper resistance area. And you also kind of just see ADA just consolidating, bears trying to step in a little bit, potential head right there, bears stepping in again for a right shoulder. You could even have an inverse head and shoulders right there. It's not the cleanest. You can probably go to a different time frame where it might look cleaner, but potential inverse head and shoulders right here playing out, right? With a breakout potential. Biggest thing I'm watching right now is how much separation from this area. Notice that trend line. This is a 6 hour chart, but that trend line is right at this 39 to 40 cent area, the 200-day moving average right there in red. So as ADA is kind of breaking out right now as I do this video, my question, the thing that I'm watching is how much separation from that trend line can it get? And you actually can see this is the top of the 786. This is the 786 line of the Fibonacci channel resistance, and ADA is like right there on the 6 hour. Can ADA get separation? And if it does, is it getting thrown back to the apex? Is it getting thrown back into the triangle? Big thing to note, as this is transpiring, there's still like 5.5 hours left of this 6 hour candle. So this 6 hour candle might not even close with any separation. It could close back in the triangle. So immediately tonight, this is the first thing I'm watching. Is there any legs on the very short term for ADA going into tonight, into tomorrow morning? And really, what does this chart look like tomorrow morning? It's going to be very interesting for me to see that, because how this looks will directly play into how this looks. And this is the daily chart. So the daily chart, we want to see the separation from this 200-day moving average and that Fibonacci retracement to the upside. We want to see continuation of these bulls. We want to see on this daily chart, for instance, we want to see this RSI continue to the upside, put in a new swing high on the RSI, breaking this lower high from around 5 days ago. So that's what I'll be watching. And then ultimately, remember, it's 60% of the time these things break to the downside, meaning there's potential that this thing breaks to the upside and kind of goes crazy. There's potential ADA goes crazy. And this is just what I'm watching, everybody. I'm not going to sit here and guess what's going to happen next. These markets, right now especially, they are incredibly unpredictable, just how everything is acting. Even the S&P 500, we've been tracking that. And so we are in this unique change, I think, from market cycles. And things get volatile. And it's exciting to watch. And this is just kind of what I'm watching, things I'm anticipating. Real quick to the downside, if there is some type of mega crash or something, remember, it's this 20-day moving average around 35 cents that I'm watching continually for ADA. I want to see continued higher highs and higher lows. Even if it's a false break below this rising wedge and then back up, that would be fine. But this is really big stuff. Everybody, I didn't even mention in the beginning of this video, this trend line is still being broken. That goes all the way, I zoom all the way out, to the top of the last bull market. This trend line is continually being broken right now, and ADA is getting some separation from that area. You see it as it kind of starts approaching this 200-day moving average, pretty much right where ADA is right now as I do this video. This is what I'll be watching tonight. Everybody, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.